Calves, and I am the principal author on this law. We create a law which is it is an act establishing a public disturbance noise. This law is for all person. What is public disturbance noise? It means any noise, sound, or signal which unreasonable disturb the comfort, peace, or repose of another persons. The following sounds are declared to be public disturbance noise, such as first, motor vehicle, motorcycle, off-highway vehicle; second, yelling, shouting without any reason between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Third is musical instruments, audio sound systems, and band sessions on social gatherings. Fourth is yelling, shouting, and fighting that cause of alcohol. And lastly is a juvenile riot. There's an exemptions. This law shall not apply to regularly scheduled events at parks, schools, or other public property between hours of 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. It includes also to those emergency matter, like the siren of ambulance, and having an emergency when it comes to risking of life. The penalty of this law is any person who violates this law shall be civil fine not exceed of 10,000 pesos for the first offense. And for any second offense, the arresto mayor, which is 1 month and 1 day to 6 months, and fine not exceed of 20,000 pesos.
Good afternoon to each and every one of you. I am LMA and Lohenyo from BS Criminology 3B. I am the co-author of this law, which is an act establishing of public disturbance noise. Let's start from the basis of this law. In Nigeria, the agency said the law is already in place. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, or NESRIA, says it is now ready to enforce a regulation making noise a criminal offense punishable with imprisonment or fine or both. The coordinator of the agency in Olan Riwaju Anjurin said that Osogbo on Tuesday that a 2009 Gazette gave Nesria the legal cover. Mr. Anjurin showed a correspondent a copy of the Gazette which prescribes up to 1 year jail term or fine or both for a breach of the law. The law prohibits an acceptable level of noise making by individuals or group or a corporate body. The regulation makes provisions for permissible noise levels, noise in excess of permissible levels, duty to control noise by place and time, and noise control zones, among others. The coordinator said that there were 24 necessary regulations addressing all aspects of environment, covering individuals, organizations, and public sanitation conducts, and adding that more regulations were underway. According to him, noise making is just one of the numerous environmental conditions which are considered as public disturbance, and therefore, the agency has zero tolerance for it. Asked how the agency could determine the level of noise making in a particular environment, Anjurin explained that the regulation had been made explicit in the agency's noise standard and control regulation. Next basis. In Canada, the crime is codified in Section 175, Paragraph 1 of the Criminal Code of Canada, which states causing disturbance, indecent exhibition, loitering, etc. Section 175 of Paragraph 1, everyone who, Paragraph A, not being in a dwelling house causes a disturbance in or near a public place. Paragraph 1, by fighting, screaming, shouting, swearing, singing, or using insulting or obscene language. Paragraph 2, by being drunk, or Paragraph 3, by feeding or molesting other persons. Paragraph B, openly exposes or exhibits an indecent exhibition in a public place. Paragraph C, loiters in a public place and in any way obstructs person who are in that place. Or paragraph D, disturbs the peace and quiet of the occupants of a dwelling house by discharging firearms or by other disorderly conduct in a public place, or who, not being an occupant of a dwelling house, comprise in a particular building or structure, disturbs the peace and quiet of the occupants of a dwelling house comprised in the building or structure by discharging firearms or by other disorderly conduct in any part of a building or structure to which, at the time of such conduct, the occupants of two or more dwelling houses comprised in the building or structure have access as of right or by invitation, express or implied, is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. A case study in United Kingdom. Dennis versus Ministry of Defense. Case reported in 2003. This case raises the issue of when sufficient public interest can be used in the defense to a claim of noise nuisance. Facts. The claimants owned and occupied an estate about 2 miles from RAF Wittering, an operational and training base for Harrier jump jets. They claimed that they suffered from severe noise disturbance every time the Harrier pilots carried out of training circuits, an average of 70 times a day. They alleged that the noise nuisance constituted a very serious interference with their enjoyment of their land and amounted to a violation of their fundamental human rights. They instituted judicial proceedings against the defendants, the Ministry of Defense, seeking a declaration and alternative damages amounting to $10 million. Although the MOD accepted that operations at the RAF Wittering caused noise and disturbance to they raised a defense that the Harrier training was undertaken for the public benefit and that they had prescripted right over the land as they had bought their property at a time when RAF Wittering was already established. Judgment. The court refused to grant the declaration suit but awarded the damages of $950,000, representing loss of capital value, past and future loss of use, and past and future loss of amenity. It held that the noise from the Harrier jets amounted to a nuisance and constituted a serious interference with the claimants' enjoyment of their land. The court refused to treat the Harrier training as an ordinary use of land and held that, although there was a public benefit to the continued training of Harrier pilots, the claimants should not be required to bear the cost of the public benefit. Appropriate damage were awarded and deemed as just satisfaction under the Section 8 of the Human Rights Act 1998. This case illustrates how the court deals with the noise nuisance, a serious disturbance that constitutes interference to the ordinary enjoyment of property. It highlights the legal remedies that you might expect to be available in a noise nuisance claim. And that's the basis and case study of our law. And that would be all, and thank you.